Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm talking about authenticity, how to tap into your authentic self and ways in which you can go about cultivating a more authentic way of living. Now, authentic living is one of these terms that has been really bandied about, particularly on social media platforms in the last few years. And I suppose there's always a lot of room for misconception when this happens. I think one of the main ones that I come across is people thinking that living authentically means being very opinionated or being very expressive. And while it's really good to be able to say what's on your mind, that's not what it's all about. The thing is, tapping into your authentic self means tapping into your core person, your core characteristics, your core values, and your core beliefs, and assessing what needs you have as an individual, as opposed to the needs that you have created in order to feel approval. It's about getting in touch with the person that you were always destined to be, as opposed to the person that you have needed to be in order to gain attachment and approval and validation. And I mean, this is something that we have been creating from a very early age. I mean, oftentimes in our family of origin, we're given a role that we need to play. You know, we're assumed as the quiet one, or we're given some sort of characteristics which we feel gives us a sense of approval. And as a result, we personify that characteristic. And the same thing happens in our relationships and in our careers and in our schooling. And as a result, we create all of these personas, you know, and all the time we're moving away from who we actually are as a person. And so if you find yourself regularly thinking, okay, I don't feel at one with my life, or I don't know why I feel like this, or I don't know why I think like this, or there has to be something more to it, then the likelihood is that you're not in touch with your authentic self. So how do you go about it? Well, it's a difficult process because oftentimes once you start getting in touch with your core values and beliefs, you may find it completely in conflict with the life you're currently living. And that can be really scary, particularly if you have been conditioned into thinking that your current life is acceptable or is approvable. So it can oftentimes mean that you need to start questioning so many aspects of your life that it's a little bit overwhelming. So it's about, first of all, being very compassionate with yourself, about understanding that you don't have to change everything at once, that it's about gradually creating a mindfulness and an awareness. It's about tapping into your internal voices, your intuition, your natural curiosity, your natural characteristics, you know, and kind of bringing them out slowly as opposed to feeling you have to change everything all at once. Being authentic requires an immense level of self-responsibility and awareness. It's about getting in touch with the difficult emotions that you may have repressed for your lifetime. It's about also getting in touch with ways in which you self-sabotage. So it's something that you have to come to with great intention and attention. And it's also something that you have to approach with a high level of commitment and discipline, because it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of soul searching, and it possibly takes a lot of sacrifice, because ultimately there are going to be aspects of your life that you always thought were for you but that you may now need to leave behind. So how do you go about setting your intentions in order to become more authentic? Well, it's about listening to yourself. It's about tapping into those inner voices, the intuition, and really listening to them. And it's about beginning to filter some of the stuff that you're allowing into your life. I mean, we're being bombarded all of the time with information that tells us who we need to be in order to be acceptable. We're surrounded by careers that tell us that we have to conform to a certain way of living. And it's about looking at all of those and asking yourself, okay, how many of these ways of life are true to who I am? I mean, Instagram is not going to tell you who you are. And the more you look at it, the more you are being brainwashed into thinking that if you have a certain body, if you wear certain brands, if you live a certain lifestyle, that that is who you are meant to be. And actually, you're moving further and further away from your truth all the time. Learn to assess what your values are. What do you want to stand for? And it's about taking a list of things that you feel are important, like loyalty, like integrity, like honesty, like wholeheartedness, and looking at all of these characteristics and say to yourself, what's actually more important to me? And for some people, it will be success. For some people, it will be beauty. For some people, it will be more superficial things. And for other people, it won't. It'll be about living, as I said, your truth, living with integrity, living with honesty. And, if your life isn't reflective of that, then going about making the changes that you need to make. And it doesn't have to be a case of, packing up your entire life and just leaving to go live in India. I mean, it's just about making day-to-day changes where you can show up a little bit more as yourself. It's about being honest, not having to laugh at things that you don't find funny, or not having to suppress what you do find funny, and kind of finding ways to feel okay being you. So living authentically can initially feel daunting. I mean, going against everything that you have ever been taught, that you have ever been told you needed to believe, isn't easy. However, the more you do it, the more confident and the more at one you will feel. And you will start weeding out all of the areas of your life that don't work for you. And you will start attracting the people and the way of life that was always destined for you. You become almost a magnet for these things because you're on the lookout for them. Now, if this is something you'd like to find out more about, get in touch on my website. It's fundamentals.ie, or get in touch on Instagram or Facebook. Both of those pages are called Fundamentals also. I'm running a workshop on September the 18th in the Modern Hotel in Tala, and I'll be looking at all things purpose, fulfillment, and authenticity. So if you'd like to come along, all of the details are on the website or on my Facebook page. Also have recently put up a podcast with Neil O'Brien. It's called Touchy and Feely. We've a few episodes up there, really worth a listen. It's on iTunes and it is on Spotify. So go check it out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and looking forward to talking to you all again soon.